Well, thank you. I'm here. I'm here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 8:19 in the morning. Bring this down a little bit. Hold on. Kind of loud. It is 8:19 in the morning on July 15th, 2026. I must have my birthday on my mind. July 15th, 2026. Rent is due. The rent is due in 15 days. What's going on, family? I'm here. I'm here. It's been a minute, man. I've been having issues. I've been trying to go live for the past week. Not live, but I did live one time, and then I also did some recording because I was having an issue with my audio on my PC. For some reason, my audio was all static, not clear. So I had to move over to my laptop. Had to get some things taken care of with that. And then when I recorded, my voice wasn't being recorded. Everything else, the background, everything was being recorded. I was so both times, right? I'm cooking. And so when I go and replay or play back what I've done, either it was no sound, it was either no sound or it was very distorted, which was, that's like taking a shot or take a hit in the stomach. It just took all the air out of me. And so actually what we're talking about today, I've been trying to get out for the past week. And I'm hoping that when I'm done with this, everything is running smooth. The audio is going fine. It's clear. And we take it from there. If not, I don't know what to say. I'll probably just roll up and go to bed. I don't know. You feel me? But nevertheless, I'm going to keep hope alive. Sound like late Reverend Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive and pray that everything works out. Feel me? Yeah. I'm nervous though. I ain't gonna lie. Heart beating kind of fast. But I'm here. So let's see what happens. So once again, welcome to Fourth Dimension Spiritual Travel, where my prayer is that we heal, that we question. What were the other two? Hold on. I gotta pull out my glasses. Yeah, where we heal, where we question, where we awaken, and where we transform. At Fourth Dimension Spiritual Travel, the goal is we heal, we awaken, we transform, and we learn to ask questions. So, not saying that I know everything. I know a little bit though. I know a little bit. I've cut my teeth on quite a few things. But if you happen to catch this recording, because it should be shown on Facebook, it will be shown on Facebook, it will be shown on YouTube, and I will probably, I'm going to have some clips sent out on TikTok. That is the goal. Today is Wednesday. Today is creating content day. So I've been up since what, 1 o'clock this morning. So today is content day, and I'm trying to get some things done because I've been basically kind of quiet for the past few days. So I'm gonna take my time with this. I got some new projects coming out. I can't share it, but it's coming out. I should have my first demo on that a week from now. That's the goal. A week from now, I should have my first demo out on my new project. And definitely keep an eye. You'll see it when it comes out. You'll recognize it when it comes out. Trust me. It's gonna be just that nice. Feel me? So let me go over here. Let me find my stuff. So before we get going, let me give you a motivational or quote for today. One that I kind of pulled up, put together. So for today, the motivational word, the words of the day is for us to understand that deconstruction isn't destruction. It's actually the beginning of understanding. So deconstruction isn't destruction. It is the beginning of understanding. Let me try that one more time. Deconstruction isn't destruction. It's the beginning of understanding. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, if you're anything like me, we're always in some type of position to be in some form of deconstruction. With fourth dimension spiritual travel, the main two things that I focus on is recovery from substance abuse, and also support for those who are feeling they need to deconstruct in certain areas in their life, such as religion, going from religion to spirituality, and things like that. That was my refrigerator. So that's my goal. That's my Let me put a pin right here. I'm going to give a shout out to everybody that wished me happy birthday or sobriety birthday for celebrating 19 years of recovery. I really appreciate that. So thank you, and really much love. Really appreciate it. It's 19 years, man. It doesn't seem that long, but then again, it does. But I'm grateful. One day at a time, we keep on pushing, and we just take it from there. So yeah, thank you for that. But even with that, as we talk about the liminal space, let's talk about that. Hold on. The liminal space. Now, some of y'all might be asking, well, what the hell is liminal? What does that mean? And then some of you may already know. But I can help you out with that if you don't know. Because I didn't know until I started looking it up. I was always doing it. I was in the process of doing it. But I never knew that what I was doing was actually called, or was being liminal space. So liminal space means being in an in-between state. Being in an in-between state, such as a threshold where you left one stage of your life but haven't fully entered the next stage. So it's like we're in between the past and the future. We let go. We've learned. We've let go. We've learned. We evolved some things that are now on our past. And however, we understand that we haven't fully arrived to where we want to be, where we want to go, or who we want to be, or what we're supposed to be. Now, the word comes from the Latin limen, meaning threshold or doorway. So we're in the doorway, threshold, maybe the fork of the road, if you will. But threshold, just like when you are walking in your house, you have to go through a threshold to enter certain sections in the house. You have threshold for the bedroom, threshold for the bathroom, threshold for the front and back door. Each threshold puts us in a different, first of all, location, and in that location allows us to experience different types of feelings. Like when we go in the bedroom, we should be feeling more relaxed. When we walk out the front door, we're moving from our comfort zone and out into the world, to where now we have on our warrior or our soldier gear or mindset. So once again, liminal space is a threshold where you left one stage of your life but haven't fully entered the next stage. So let's go with early recovery. Those who are less than 5 years sober or clean in their addiction, from their addiction. We cross the threshold of the stage in your life of being addicted. However, we really haven't entered fully or comfortable enough in the new stage in recovery, because it takes time. It takes time, and it continues as we continue to stay in recovery. We are always put in the position of awareness of learning more from ups and downs, or from our ups and downs, from our positives to our negatives, to our good and creative moves, to our negative and bad decisions. It is a circular type of action. We're not linear. When we go linear, I know when I want to go linear, when I keep that linear mindset, I end up losing inspiration and sometimes motivation. So I got these pop-ups coming up, man. So now we can also, being in this liminal space can affect two specific areas. It can affect two specific areas. One is spiritually, it can affect us. It can also affect us psychologically. So spiritually, when we feel in that way, we find ourselves questioning old beliefs without having all the new answers. We might find ourselves questioning old beliefs without having the new answers. Also, leaving religious dogma while discovering a more authentic spirituality. Also, the last one for spirituality, a season of uncertainty that can become a place of growth rather than fear. So, let's look at that for a minute. Topic number 1, questioning the old beliefs without having all the new answers. How can I break that down? So, whether I was in early recovery or I was in early deconstruction phase, I deconstructed from Christianity in 2012, 2013, somewhere in that area, and grew more. I stepped away from the traditional dogma, if you will, or traditional mindset or setting or worship, and evolved into a more spiritual concept, mind frame, or position, which, I didn't know how that was, I didn't know how that was going to turn out. I didn't have all the answers if I was going to be able to stay sober in that. But I knew that what was behind me, the old beliefs, weren't working for me anymore. I had no peace. I had no, I had hope, but it wasn't as strong as it is right now. So questioning old beliefs without having all the new answers. I went through a process where I had to learn some new things on the spiritual side, without the religious side, but I wasn't brought up that way. So, I was in that liminal space in between, had not fully crossed the threshold into fully understanding and feeling confident in a spiritual sense, but understood that the religious side, it started feeling like a job to me, because I had titles, and I also had responsibilities in the church, but it started feeling like a job. So I'm like, if I'm working Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday, or I may be off Saturday, I'm resting Saturday, and I have to get right back up and start getting involved in things on Sunday. And a lot of times it just felt like by the time Monday comes, I'm still tired. Physically, sometimes, mentally, and spiritually. So, feeling that way, it made me question my old beliefs and why am I doing this if I'm not getting any joy out of it. So where can I go? Well, I don't know where to go. I have some ideas where to go. I have some different teachings to listen to. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have all the answers of knowing what the outcome was going to be. We're talking about now, 2007, between 2007 and 2010, in that area. So I think I left the church around 2010 instead of 2012. I became conscious, if you will, I think around 2013 or 2014. So I don't know, it's been a while back. The second part, let's go with, let me speed this up a little bit. Leaving religious dogma while discovering a more authentic spirituality. Same, those two go together. Questioning old beliefs, leaving religious dogma, and while discovering, keyword, while discovering a more authentic spirituality. Because in there we have to deal, whether we, even when you're in our addiction, we still practice some form of type of religious dogma or ritual. When I was getting high, I had rituals. I had to have my tools. I had things that I had to have, my tools, my liquor. Sometimes I had to have a woman with me, hang out with my homies, well, acquaintances, get high buddies, if you will. had a ritual. Sometimes certain pornographic tapes, tapes back then, and CDs were out as well, or DVDs, not CDs, but DVDs. Rituals, religious rituals. We have religious rituals. You can have religious rituals in anything that we do in a ritual state or format. And then the last one, a season of uncertainty that can become a place of growth rather than fear. So even when I was deconstructing from Christianity, when I was deconstructing from my drug use or the drug use, just being in that position, not fully realizing how much it was allowing me to grow. It was bringing growth rather than fear. I had started off with a little bit of fear, but as time went on, I gained more growth than fear. Let's look at the psychologically. Let's look at this liminal space psychologically. That means it can feel like confusion, grief, curiosity, freedom, transformation. So, rather in early recovery or in recovery or deconstruction from religious dogma, you're going to feel confused. There is a confusion there because, we're battling against what we have been taught, to let go of the things that have been taught and being willing to have the courage to experience new things, not from what and we just have to understand that God is in there. God is playing a major part in that. It may not seem like it. We may hear from other people that is not, but it is. God is in it. There's a reason why we're feeling this way, from leaving the old stage of life and walking into a new stage of life. So we also have confusion, we have grief, we have curiosity, we have freedom, we have transformation. So when you're in the liminal space, when you are in the threshold to where you've left one stage of life but haven't fully entered the next, right? The end result, you're gonna find freedom. You're gonna experience what freedom is. You're gonna experience what transformation is. You're gonna have some curiosity. You're gonna feel a little grief. You're gonna be a little confused because you're going against something that we've always going against, or we're leaving something that we always thought to be the best thing for us. I hope I'm making sense. So basically, the liminal space is basically where certainty ends and transformation begins. When we are in the liminal space, it is basically saying that we are in the certainty where certainty ends and transformation begins. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We just know that we can't go back to the past, or that it's not in our best interest to go back into the past. And the exciting thing about the whole situation is that we don't know how the future is going to turn out, but we have hope that it's going to turn out for our best interests. We're going to feel good about it. We know we're on the right path, or we feel we're on the right path, but can't explain it. I just know I'm not on the right path. It's like a feeling I have. It's like I have a barometer that I'm running on. I'm running off a barometer that's leading me to a different location, a different type, a different stage, a different calling, a different meaning, a different understanding. I'm no longer feeling lost. I'm crossing invisible thresholds that everyone can see. Our family can see it. Our enemies can see it. Society can see it. I'm recovering. I'm deconstructing and I'm recovering. That's why deconstruction is not destruction. It is the beginning of understanding. Understanding what? Understanding who I am. Who are you? That's a question I ask myself all the time. Who am I? Outside of the ego. The ego will answer that question real quick. Oh, well, you this. You're that. You're an athlete. You're a great employee. You're, all these material things, which are good things, but somehow, some way, we're still not feeling totally fulfilled. So we look for external vices to help us feel good about ourselves, not understanding that pull, that tug is coming from the resurrection of our soul within us, trying to come alive, resurrect itself, and to be about the mission that we're sent here or agreed to do when we came into this third dimension. So we stay in the present, as uncomfortable and as difficult that can be at times. We stay in the present. We keep the faith and the hope and the understanding that we're healing. What we don't understand, then we ask questions. Healing comes from asking questions. Awakening comes from asking questions. We transform from asking questions and receiving the answers. Not because what someone tells us what the answer is. It's because we're allowing it to resonate in our soul. So the liminal space. Are you in the liminal? Are you in a liminal space right now? Have we taken the time to try to recognize if we are in a liminal space? And if we are in a liminal space, what can we learn from it? I'm in a liminal space. Even after celebrating 19 years of recovery, I am in a liminal space because what I'm trying to accomplish, I have not, the next stage of my life, I have not fully walked into or fully seen the fruit growing. Reap the fruit from growing. Reap. Hold on, help me now. Reap the fruit of walking into the next stage, but understanding that it's gonna happen. But at the same time, it may rain and storm on a brother while I'm standing there in between this threshold of the past and the future. So I just wanted to come out and bring, talk about that, talk about this a little bit because I've been sitting on it for a while, but I have other projects I want to work on. I still haven't forgotten about the church hurt series. I'm going to be working on that next, probably by tomorrow, if not tonight, today. Yeah, definitely want to talk about that. You know, um, for those, because for those who may be interested in that, to keep an eye out, keep an ear out um, for that. So just remember, so deconstruction isn't destruction. When I'm deconstructing, I find myself in a position to start reconstructing some things. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same, right? Healing can start, healing starts when we learn to stop pretending. And I find myself that for many years, I have been pretending to be something that I'm not, which is not in a bad way, but just in an unfulfilling way. So how do we change it? I take the time to find out, what am I supposed to be doing? How can I find that out? By going through the process of traveling through the liminal space, getting that connection with God. Getting that connection with the God of my understanding. Not your understanding, not the next man's understanding, but of my understanding. Or of our understanding. You can't do that. That can be done. But we have to understand, we have to know where we are. Which really kind of make it exciting. One day at a time. Every day is different. Everything is the same, yet at the same time, everything is different. It was like when I was getting high, every day was the same. Finding some kind of way to get high. In recovery, every day is not the same. Even though it may look the same, and every day is not the same because, I have to deal with situations, deal with my emotions. I have to feel my emotions. And not only do I have to feel my emotions, I have to control them. Because if I'm not careful, I can allow my emotions to create a major mistake that could change my life forever. It may land me in prison or in the hospital or in a wheelchair or in the grave. Sometimes I have to learn. I have to be mindful of what I say. I can't let my emotions get out of control to where I just spat off at the mouth and start cussing people out and going on, being irritated, agitated, walking around, because now that I'm agitated and irritated, I want to make everyone else feel agitated and irritated because that's how I'm feeling. I'm being toxic. Let's do some reading. Let's do some reading. Share my screen. Let's go to the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Let's go there. Somebody asked why. Where we at? Where we at? Hold on, let me come out. Let me do it again. Let's try it again. Let's go here. Let's go here. Share. There we go. Make sure we got it. Yeah. Yeah. From religion to spirituality was the 12 steps in the book called Alcoholics Anonymous. I've been, am I going the right way? Did I get lost? I've been refreshing my memory in this book because I haven't really read this book in a while. I mean, that's one good thing for me not working right now, that it allowed time for me to refresh my mind to things that are just as important. Now, I got sober through the fellowship of Cocaine Anonymous. I'm a CA kid. Back in Los Angeles, actually in Altadena, the 185, back in Altadena, California. Now, the first time I had gone to the 185, it was in the 90s, I think 1994, 95. I had just messed up my truck driver's license. Man, I was in a liminal space for real. You know, I was back at home with moms, which I ended up living with her for a long time. Man. I was unable to get my shit together. But and so when the first time I went through there, the Cocaine Anonymous 185, the 185 Cocaine Anonymous route in Altadena, California, which is a very popular group. Some strong brothers there, some beautiful women there. I mean, it was huge. And I knew I felt that I wanted to change, but I didn't know what the cost to change would be, or how much it would cost. I didn't know how much it would cost. So I went to my first meeting. It was a brother named Carl. He's transitioned. He has moved out. Brother named Carl, Brother Carl. And he kind of pissed me off because, when I had first went to the meeting, they had like a big room where they had their major meeting on Sundays. But then on the weekdays, they had a little smaller room. It was always packed. It was a good sharing. It was fun. People in there was talking some real shit about, being in recovery and learning how to live life on life's terms. But I wasn't ready, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of, two things that kind of pissed me off about that. One, when Carl was telling me, I walked in there, I was sitting down and had my arms folded, and he was telling me, unfold your arms. I ain't never met him before. He just come out the blue, unfold your arms, bro, so that the Spirit of God can reach your heart. I'm like, what the fuck is you talking about? Man, please. I did it, but I didn't like it. I'm like, man. And then they started talking about God. Now, God was an issue for me because I was feeling so shameful and guilt, and having guilt of the lifestyle that I had living, knowing being brought up and raised in the church. I just had an issue with it because while I was being raised in the church, I was always in the church. So I was going to church from Sunday school, 11 o'clock service, 3 o'clock service, and every now and then there'd be a 6 o'clock service. I'm like, man, I'm done. So I became very rebellious in a lot of ways, for no damn reason. Just being the kid, like, I don't want to do this shit. So I'm not coming home. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm just causing all kind of problems. But anyway, when I was seeking help without seeking God. That was the goal. How can I get help, without having to deal with God? But at the same time, I didn't really want help. I wanted control. Oh, my machine is talking. And I heard this, I'm going to read this little section right here. And then because it was speaking some truth, but my knowledge of it was I was a novice. I was just only seeking control of my drug use. Because once again, I like getting high. I was just having a hard time controlling it. So I wasn't fully committed. I hadn't came across, I'm in that liminal space, right? Or I'm getting ready to walk into the liminal space. I'm getting ready to cross the threshold. I'm starting the journey of walking through the threshold out of my addiction into recovery. But not really understanding that that's what I'm doing. I'm not seeing it. This is 1993, 94, 95, somewhere like that. I went to my first drug treatment program in 94, 95 for 21 days. Stayed clean for almost 90. Relapsed on Christmas Eve. So anyway, but here was a message that it was speaking to me then that I did not hear until 2007. So stay with me. We're talking about the liminal space. right? When we are crossing the threshold of one stage of life into another stage of life, but not really realizing that is happening, or not feeling comfortable in that process. So here it is. I can't read it all because this is copyright, but I'm gonna hit a certain maybe a paragraph or two, and then I'm gonna come out, or I'm gonna stop and go, because it is a copyright book, so we don't want to cause no problems. But there's a chapter that they read in every meeting, no matter if you go to AA, CA, they're going to read How It Works, Chapter 5, in their meeting. If you go to NA, they're going to read, I believe it's titled the same, How It Works. It could be Chapter 5 in that book as well. Just understand that this right here is what they read in every meeting. It may be a little different in NA, but as far as the wording, but they're going to come back to them 12 steps. And I just want to let you know, it was the 12 steps that helped me become open-minded, become willing to be open-minded to find a spiritual foundation, which is very tough because, especially in the Black community, anything outside of the church, causes family issues, because the church, let's keep it real, has been historically part of our culture. And at one time, for the Black community, the church was all we had. But as time changed, so did the church, so had the time, so had the people, so has the tricks of the enemy as well. So here we go. It jumps off. Rarely have we seen a person fail who have thoroughly followed our path. That was my understanding when they first heard this book. They were saying that it wasn't no rarely have we seen a person fail who has followed our path. They were saying that people who have followed this path, they recovered, basically. I'm paraphrasing it. But there wasn't no rarely that all would recover who would follow the path. But we're going to stay. That was back in the 30s and stuff like that. So now, the fourth edition, I believe, was 2001. They may have a newer edition. I'm not really sure, because that phone blowing up. I'm not really sure. Sorry about that. Because I don't attend on a regular basis like I used to, because I have evolved. I stay connected, but I have evolved as well, spiritually, and continue to evolve even more spiritually. So anyway, so rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot and will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Why is it a simple program? Because the foundation, the trail has already been blazed. It's already been blazed. It's already been performed, orchestrated, established. So it says, usually men and women who are constitutionally capable of being honest with themselves. Something threw me off. They are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. Key thing, one of the main principles that grabbed my attention in the 12-step program, or put me on the path of this 12-step program, would be to understand that of all these years, these couple of decades, I have been running around with a major alcohol and drug addiction. And what was that? Because I was incapable of being honest with myself. Now, that's a lot deeper. That's a bigger statement than what it actually sounds like. That line right there is bigger than what it actually is. Once I'm being honest, being capable of being honest with ourselves or themselves. Yes, in drug and alcohol and stuff like that, but it can also fall in other areas where we're incapable of being honest with ourselves. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. So my breakthrough that seemed to have a deep and effective experience for me came from me being put in a position to become rigorously honest. I've spoke about that many times. I talk about it all the time. Since their chances are less than average, there are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Right? I think it's in the way. If I close that, what happens? Let me hide it. Our stories disclose in a general way of what we used to be like, what happened, what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go through any lengths to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. We're getting ready to get on the runway, headed towards the liminal space. As some of these we balk. What are we talking about? It's talking about the 12 steps that we're getting ready to read real quick. That a lot of people feel that there's no God in it, because it's not coming from our normal, traditional, religious settings. But we could. So some of these we balk. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. You know what I mean? And that's you know what I'm saying earlier. I was trying to find a way not to quit using drugs, but able to control my drugs without talking about God. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us, we tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Just remember that we deal with alcohol or drugs, which is cunning, baffling, and powerful. Why? Because it can keep you in the daze and the trance for decades before you realize, damn, I need to do something about it. But then by that time, for some of us, not all of us, some of us, we've gone so far that we find ourselves, our dilemma becomes the lack of power. We have no power to stop. No matter who cries, who dies, who flies away from our lives. The grips can be so tight. Remember, we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, and powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Remember, this is written back in the 30s. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. So I think I need to say this. I no longer see God as a particular type of gender or a gender at all. I mean, that's where I'm at. I look at God as a spirit, as a source. Yeah, I think that's as far as I want to go with that. That's where I'm at. That's one of the reasons why I don't attend a lot of meetings, even though I enjoy going to meetings. But there was a time where, when I was working in the recovery field, I really didn't have to go to meetings because I was always so active at the job, providing meeting services like 12 book studies, 12 and 12 book studies, big book studies. I was always, fresh with it. Then as I changed careers and started doing other things, dealing with patients with autism, dealing with patients with some type of neural issue, I got away from that, and then it just changed. So, but I had so much. I was so, what's the word I'm looking for? I was green. I was nourished. I was so nourished. And then with my other spiritual training and that's not awareness, and awakenings, I'm like, man, I'm good. And plus, when I first started, my first encounter of understanding that I had became an addict, if you will, I was good. I didn't want nothing to do with alcohol or drugs at all. So, come on, I'm trying to get this done. Here are the steps we took. We suggested as a program of recovery. Let's do this real quick. Number one, let me see if I can remember the principles as well as I go through. I probably don't. I have to refresh myself. I may remember a few of them. We admitted that we were powerless over alcohol or drugs and our lives have become unmanageable. We're dealing with addiction. We're dealing with uncontrollable emotions. And that the principle to that, I know for sure, is honesty, is surrender, and acceptance. I like honesty because I had to use rigorous honesty in order for me to wake my ass up and break free the chains of drug addiction. Number two, came to believe that the power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. I know the principle for that is hope. It's hope. You know what I'm saying? Because once you come from 1 to 2, which is a major leap, you're gonna need some hope. Because now we're looking at the break of our path, and what's behind us is nothing but some burnt up, blazed down, burning force, destruction. You might find a tree or two. You might find a tree or two that hasn't been fully consumed, but it's been scorched. We'd be scorching up some shit. Number 3, made a decision to turn our will on made a decision. I like this one, to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God. This is what I struggled with a lot of times until 2007, as we understood Him. By this time, I'm willing to get a better perspective of this God that I keep running from. I think the principle to that was faithfulness or faith. I don't know. I forgot. Number 4, made a searching and fearless made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Some of y'all may call that a sin check. 5, and I think that principle for 4 was courage. We're looking into the past and we're releasing all that stuff that we're holding inside of us, because that filth, that garbage is blocking us from the sunlight of the spirit. We gotta let go of some stuff. It's like how like some of us, we have our garages, and we got all this old stuff up in here that's been around. Some of us is maybe family heirlooms and like that stuff. Some of that stuff is just junk. So you can't even park your car in the garage. You got to park it outside, because we don't know how to let go of stuff. So that we can't, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a blockage. Well, it's the same thing that happens with us, in our own lives. We hold on to stuff. I still hold on to stuff because it'll come up to me on a certain dream. I think about maybe with some girl that I had a chance to really dig out, and I didn't get a chance. And every now and then I'm like, damn, man, I should have. Man, you know what? I'm just keeping 100. Stuff like, or certain jobs and stuff like that. It's like, I have to catch it, try to let it go. They'll come back. Oh, I gotta watch that. I still need more work in that particular area. So I start back. Well, I hope whatever that is, I hope they're doing fine. I hope they're doing good. I hope they're living better. But what I'm saying, we all carry junk. Shit, that's what I'm trying to say. We're almost done. Number 5, admit to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact natures of our own. Sharing, testifying. 6, I forgot what the principle for that is. I don't remember. I think after that I'm done. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Because remember, back in one of the steps I was talking about, everything behind us in our past is nothing but a pile of destruction. That's why it's not good to go back. Ain't nothing good back there. Or some reminiscing some memories to be a trap, to get you to relapse and get stuck again, to make some more destructive memories. Maybe even lose your life. A lot of people have gone back and relapsed and lost their lives. Where we at? Number 8. I think I did that. Made a list of persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made a direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Some things we don't make amends to, because us make amends to that particular person may cause some type of harm. Like, you don't go back and tell somebody, I slept with your wife because I was getting high. So you don't want to hear that shit. You might catch the bullet. You're going to injure them emotionally, and they may injure you physically. But use some common sense. Or that you stole a whole lot of money. It could be anything. 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. We don't want that to fester. We don't want what we did wrong to take roots inside our soul, inside our spirit, which will take roots in our mind, which could cause shame, guilt, fear, anger, animosity, all kinds of unhealthy stuff. Number 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God and understand God, saying and praying only for the knowledge of God's will and for us and the power to carry it out. This is a spiritual program. not only just for recovering from drugs and alcohol, but just living life, period, is a spiritual program. I was talking to someone not too long ago, before I got terminated from my last job. I was talking to someone about this, and I was telling them how you really think about driving on the freeway. Driving on the freeway is a miracle. Driving on the freeway without getting hurt on a regular basis is a miracle. Why? Because you got these vehicles with people driving them. They all have their own minds, with their own problems, with their own concerns, with their own care. You don't know what to, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, you don't know what's going through a person's mind, even with our own minds. Sometimes I would drive to work and wouldn't even my mind be focused on something else, and I realized, damn, I'm about to pass my exit to get off before to go to work because I'm in la la land. I'm in autopilot. I'm in autopilot mode. Think about it. Driving on the freeway is a miracle. Just driving on the streets, period, is a miracle. That someone doesn't run a red light, or someone doesn't run you over, or someone, just these accidents, to avoid accidents at the high rate of speed that we drive in these plastic cars that we drive. I'm just saying. Number 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to other alcoholics to practice these principles, or addicts to practice these principles in all of our affairs. So my experience is that when I went through this, don't get me wrong now, remember I told you I started in 1993. I didn't really grab on to 2007. By 2007, I had a really deep and effective spiritual awakening. That this stuff right here has to stop. I can take these same principles and use them from deconstructing from the church. Which we will talk about during the Church Hurt series and the Church Hurt versus Spiritual Awareness series. Many of us exclaim, "What an order! I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. Nobody among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to the principles, because now I'm living off of principles. I'm not living off religion, and I'm getting the weight off my back of thinking that I have to be perfect in order to have a relationship with God or a higher power. You know what I'm saying? And to fit into the community of the religious or society. Man, that's a lot of pressure. I ain't got time for that. And we all fumbling. Some of us will fumble. Some of us will fumble on the 50-yard line. Some of us will fumble the ball on the 40, 30, 20, 10. And some of us will fumble the ball on the 1-yard line. On the 1-yard. Cleveland Browns had, and I think he went to the Redskins. The Cleveland Browns back in the day had a running back by the name of Ernest Biner. That boy was bad. Man, that boy was a beast. The Cleveland Browns back in the day, they used to call them boys the cardiac kids. Yeah, I'm telling myself a little bit. But he had an issue. 2 or 3 times, he fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line. I think he did it twice with the Cleveland Browns, and I think he did it once with the Redskins. I could be wrong. Well, then they were called the Washington Redskins. Now they're called the Washington Commanders. I could be wrong about that, but I know for sure he fumbled the ball 2 times which allowed John Elway for the Denver Broncos to make it to the Super Bowl, because it always happened in the AFC Championship. Ruined his career. Well, I think I could be wrong with the Redskins, because he probably won the Super Bowl up under. He may have won the Super Bowl up under Doug Williams. I don't really remember. That was a long time ago. We were talking about 80 something. Made a lot of people mad. But anyway, many of us exclaim, "What an order!" I can't go through it. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. 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 When we go to meetings, it used to be, said, "We are not saints," and somebody in the crowd said, "Then what's the point?" The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides. Our guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. When I caught that, I didn't need to go to church anymore. When I caught that from 2007, and then when I caught this, 2012, could have been 10, could have been 12, could have been 13. I didn't need to come to church anymore. I found some principles. I found some power in the principles. And then from then, so now, talking about the liminal space, now I've left my old life. I left the stage of my old life in my addiction. Now I'm in between. I'm in between 2007. I'm in between 2007, 2009, 2008, 2010. I'm not worried about when I make mistakes. I'm living life and having some life experiences. And I made some mistakes. I had some fun between that 2007, 2010, 2011, 2012. Somewhere in there. I had some fun in there, living life on life terms. Don't get me wrong. But instead of feeling guilty or staying feeling guilty of my mistakes, I use those principle guidelines to improve my way of thinking and treating people and treating myself better. So I'm in between. I have not crossed over to the other stage on the other side of the liminal space. I hadn't crossed the threshold yet. I think around, I had to go through one more painful situation, which even though I stayed sober, I had to go through. I had to let go of a relationship that I had that I really liked. I had to let it go because it wasn't the right thing to do, and it just played itself out, but it hurt. So I had to feel that sober. Now I'm crossing the threshold into, at this time I'm like 3-4 years sober, crossing the threshold are what recovery is about. Getting ready, getting prepared for the next liminal space, the next stages to cross through. I used to teach a class back in Los Angeles called Launchpad, where we basically taught how, generations change and the rule of life is no longer linear, but it's a circular rule. We go through transformations and cycles. How we handle those transformations during the cycle determines how well the outcome is. Man, we need this last paragraph. We out of here. We got lost. Oh man, hold on. And it says, so our description of the alcoholic or addict, because they're both the same. Alcohol is a drug. Yeah. The description of the alcoholic, the chapter of the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make three important ideas. A, that we were alcoholics and addicts and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism or addiction. C, here's the word I've been running from all those years, that God could and would if he were sought. And the last thing is being convinced. We are at step 3 down. How do I stop sharing? Did I stop? What did I do? So, the liminal space. I'm about to wrap this up. I'm out of here. I appreciate. Okay, I heard it pause. I appreciate you hanging with me. I'm using the wrong mouse. Hold on. Just want to recap. Hope we have a great day today. Just remember, so the liminal space means that we are in between states in our lives. We're crossing thresholds from where we leave one stage of our lives, but haven't fully entered the next. No eyes have seen, no ears have heard, right? The things that God has in store for us. I think I paraphrased the hell out of that. It's okay if you're feeling lost, confused, and stuff like that. Just stay right there. Don't go back. Sometimes we have to stand still. We have to stand. We have to be still and know that God is working. Now, even though I may not attend church a lot, I still believe in Christ. Not historically, but but metaphysically, I do. I would definitely get more into that when I get through the church hurt versus scriptural awareness. That's going to be fun. But in the meantime, this is where we are. It's okay. That's part of being recovery. Sometimes we have to sit in it. We have to stand still so we can grow. Because what's happening is we're replacing, we're replacing fear with growth. And it continues. It continues. One last thing, remember the motivational phrase for the day from Fourth Dimension Spiritual Travel is deconstruction isn't destruction. Destruction is the beginning of understanding. There's an old proverb, Kemetic or African proverb, says know thyself. Man, know thyself. Get that understanding. He talks about in the Bible of all the all the wisdom that we may get understanding. I believe I said that right. So yeah. So I'm done, man. I'm gonna chop this up, make some clips out of this. Hopefully everything recorded fine. If not, I'm gonna be disappointed for real. I'm gonna be disappointed, but then I'll just try again. I'll work on something else until I can get it right. But like I said, I'm working on a real major project that like I said, I don't want to speak on it, but I'm planning on having that rolling in 7 days. So have a bliss day. A bliss day. Stay confident. Understand that you love. Understand that God loves you. You have loved ones who love you. But most important, within all that love, make sure that we're loving ourselves. Ashe. Ashe. I didn't even use my, hold on, let me go back. I didn't even use my, let me do this one more time before I get up out of here. I forgot all about it. Hold on. Where we at? Here we go. Thank you very much. Praise you. I appreciate you. Have a great day.